New info on XALA'TATH'S true form. The official interview debunks old theories. Let's find out a little bit more about XALA'TATH. We just recently talked about the light. Let's find out a little bit about the void. Here we go.
Previously, we've had a few theories on who XALA'TATH is, but a recent official Blizzard interview gave us some groundbreaking
3 hours
info
of
that
content.
kinda went under the radar. She is not an old god, she is older than the old gods, she doesn't like the old gods, and she serves the Void Lords. With this new info, when we look back at some older whispers, things really start to get mind-boggling. People are saying XALA'TATH could be the Void version of Azeroth and Avatar, but what if she is a Void Titan of another planet? Maybe that planet that Sargeras gets split in half in the past, and he didn't realize she managed to escape. I know, quite a bit of crazy information,
That's wild. You know, I've described XALA'TATH as one thing. I've described her as the Silver Surfer, the Harbinger, right? She is the Harbinger of the Void. She is the one who brings the Void. She's the one who sets the planet up for the Void to finally come and infiltrate it. And that's how I see her. Let's see if he has any evidence of something otherwise.
Let's analyze some of the whispers, this new interview, what they said, as
I'll check
things are even crazier than they appear. Did you know you can play WoW directly on your phone? Well, with this video sponsor, Austin, you can control your PC with your phone completely free, and it is available for Windows, iOS, and Android. It is super easy to use. Use my link to download it, get the phone and the PC app, and just connect it. The free version is powerful as you can control your desktop, transfer files, but the game version is where it is at. It has custom keyboards for various games such as Warcraft, and you can enjoy AFK gaming anytime, anywhere with actual game sound. Make sure to use my code DORAN to get 7 days completely free to try it out, only for the first 200 people. They also got a smart plug to turn off your PC at any time, as well as hot sales with up to 40% off on Pro and Game versions. Check out Awesome. XALA'TATH may actually be one of the most interesting villains that Blizzard has been doing, but I gotta say, I'm a little bit worried that it could turn out to be a fluke, like a lot of the WoW villains in the past, as in us expecting so much more than we're going to get in the end in a single patch. But man, dude,
I loved, look, the lore video that we watched yesterday on the jailer and how, you know, he wasn't exactly supposed to be the jailer. That speculation makes this lore so much better, and I hate the jailer so much less. I hope they play that out at some point
in a single patch. But man, do we have some crazy mysteries and hints going around that it really starts to get exciting. I've talked about this a bunch in the recent videos, and I don't really want to talk in circles, so I want to cover the newest interview and some of the more up-to-date information so that we can really start figuring out what the hell is even going on, as newer XALA'TATH speculation theories started going around after the War of the Within cinematic, and that she could be the avatar of Azeroth. So, long story short, you have seen XALA'TATH in Legion. She was in the Dagger, then she was present in BFA, she managed to escape through an elf avatar. She still looks like an elf. We have seen her new form in the cinematic, which is how most of you see her. But keep in mind, XALA'TATH could look like anything from a faceless one to a Void Lord to maybe something even more disgusting than a massive old god. So remember, she does not look like that elven form that is just a mask. She looks completely different, probably something a lot more sinister. Now, previously, based on the whispers, we've had two official theories going around. Either XALA'TATH is the Claw of the Fallen Old God Y'Shaarj, or a weapon used for sacrifice, or
I don't think she's the Claw of Y'Shaarj. I think he's dead. I mean, the way that, you know, Chris Metzen in BlizzCon described the old gods as the old gods were dead. He said that. Now, I still think one of them could still be alive. I think N'Zoth could be playing us. He let us think he was dead, and now he's walking around using us as Horcruxes with his little gift of N'Zoth still there. A lot of people didn't cleanse that shit. It is in fact in the lore that still exists. He could still be wandering around, doing his thing in the background, and we all think he's dead. As for Y'Shaarj, he's dead, man. He's been dead for a long time. I think he is definitely dead.
She was that fifth defeated old god. The theories made sense, as we knew old gods
she could be the fifth old god, but I actually don't think this is true either.
She was defeated by the others and managed to somehow hold on Azeroth. However, based on this recent interview and developments, it turns out both of those theories.
No, I don't think Chris Metzen doesn't know that N'Zoth is alive. I just think N'Zoth's plot, or his twist, is that he wants us to believe he's dead. So that's what Chris Metzen's doing. He's playing along and saying, yeah, N'Zoth is dead. And then it's going to be revealed that he's kind of playing in the background. Because N'Zoth knew we were going to kill him. We reveal it to him in the beginning of Dragonflight when we go back in time. With the whole, that whole quest line in the beginning. You know, where we're running around, jumping from timeline to timeline. N'Zoth looks right at us and says, I know you. I know who you are and what you will, you know, what you will become, what you will do. Like all those things. He sees his own death. So in the original timeline, we probably did kill him. But in our current timeline, he knew that was coming. And yet he let it happen. The ultimate planner, the planner of all planners, let himself die. Come on. Come on, I refuse to believe that.
May just be complete BS. The article we're talking about came in a German gaming website. However, this is an official advertisement, meaning Blizzard actually paid for this article to be released. Meaning, this obviously isn't some guy's speculation. Blizzard proofread this article and only released what they wanted us to know. Keep in mind, I'm reading this translated, so obviously some subtleties can be lost in translation, but let me really quickly summarize the gist of this information. She is an entity that is working directly with the Void. She was essentially like 99% confirmed to be older than the old gods, and essentially almost 99% confirmed that she isn't an old god. She cheered as we slay the old gods, and she really wants to undo the Titan influence and raise a new dark legacy that is in no way connected to the ancient Black Empire. Now, I know this isn't that crazy information, but essentially just blows both of our previous theories out of the water. She isn't an old god, she isn't called Yasharaj. So what even is XALA'TATH? Now, as
she's the harbinger.
Thought about this and I started reading some of the old whispers back from Legion and VFA, it really started just blowing my mind when combining this with the new stuff, and not even like as in this is who she is, but like this goes way deeper than we thought. So initially, my thought was like, if she's not an old god.
Deeper. You guys remember when he said that? That's right. It's an N'Zoth whisper.
Why exactly does she talk like an old god in so many whispers? Here, we got XALA'TATH talking about us fighting old god minions. We may face some of my brethren in this conflict, a prospect that delights me. Here, she talks about corrupting Deathwing in the past. The fallen aspects Larry is near. He was the strongest of them, yet the easiest one for us to corrupt. Then we got it's definitely about Deathwing. Though he is not one of our servants, he has heard our whispers. All of these would make it seem like she's an old god, like she talks about the old gods as her brethren. She says she corrupted our whispers, like she participated in that, and refers to the old gods as us, and she also whispers, much like the old gods. Now, the interview said that she's older.
It is interesting that she refers to the old gods and everything as us, because it's like a stated fact in the lore that the old gods are not necessarily like on the same team, right? Like there's lore about them fighting over things, and the Void Lords spit them out. But the old gods, their goal is not to like help the Void Lords. Their goal is just to, you know, find a planet. They just go out into void and space and eventually land on something, and when they do, they just want to take it over. They just want to become all powerful and hold all the power in that planet, and you know, take the thing over. They're not really team players. That's not what they're known for. They fought amongst each other. They fought between each other. They've killed each other. Like that stuff's happened in the lore. So it's interesting that she keeps referring to them as us, which is why I think maybe she's talking about the Void Lords and not the old gods when she says that.
Than them and is directly related to the Void. Could she be a Void Lord? Nope, because we got this whisper that kind of contradicts.
Yeah, I don't think she's a Void Lord.
I long for the day our masters can truly pass into this realm. You have only seen fragments, shadows, the faintest of echoes. Ask the Ethereals what one of these manifestations are capable of. So,
yeah,
this essentially
the ethereal planet was destroyed by a
is
Void Lord,
under the Void Lords in the hierarchy, as she calls them masters, but she seems to be around the equal to the old gods, if not above them, but she isn't one, and she is older than them. Now, before we get into what she could be, we also had some other interesting whispers from the past that shows us just how intelligent XALA'TATH is. She is ancient. She knows the entire cosmological situation that we really don't. As Blizzard said in the interview, she wants to undo Titan influence. She's actually really dedicated to it, as dedicated as she is to corrupting Azeroth. And now we got a really quick throwback to Legion. So back when we went to Argus with XALA'TATH in hand, she says this: such potential here, but all of it wasted on a doomed crusade. So much effort, so much bluster, only to delay the inevitable victory of their betters. We can of course connect this with a whole bunch of other whispers, and there are like 10 of them.
That's interesting.
She's just super condescending to
She's clearly talking about the Burning Legion and everything else.
For some reason, and the Legion, like, she always calls them dumb brutes and on just a stupid and ridiculous mission. So obviously XALA'TATH was aware what the true goal of Sargeras' crusade was, and keep in mind, I think there are things we don't know about yet that we're going to learn soon why Sargeras really stabbed Azeroth. I really don't think it is as straightforward as we thought, like she just wanted to kill the World Soul. Also,
yeah, I don't think he wanted to kill the World Soul.
When she says victory of their betters, it kind of appears like she's talking about us mortals, but it's more like she knows the Void will win in the end. Lastly, we got this super interesting whisper as we reach the seat of the Pantheon. Long have we sought entry into this realm. To think we have a mortal to thank for giving us our foothold. Your service will be rewarded. Keep in mind, we sought entry. This definitely puts XALA'TATH on the board as a big cosmological player, not just a local threat on Azeroth and just a simple agent with a mission to trigger some other big player. She's definitely in on things behind the scenes, bigger things, much bigger things. Lastly, we got this super.
The thing about XALA'TATH is I definitely think she's behind bigger things. I just don't think she is the bigger thing. I don't think she's a fifth old god. I don't think she is a Void Lord. I think she is like the preview. Like I said, she is the Silver Surfer. She's the one who sets up the Planet Devourer. She's the one who prepares everything to be destroyed. That's what I believe about her. Like I said, she's the Harbinger. She's the one who brings the Void Lord to our planet for its end destruction. That's what I think she is.
Whisper talking about a dark night. Now,
so
this
no, she is not
true beauty.
She's not Galactus. She's the Silver Surfer who brings him. Galactus would be in my like example would be the Void Lord, right? The Void Lords are the devourers of planets. She is just the one who prepares the planet to be devoured.
One of the mortals in your midst can appreciate what it offers. The mortal she refers to here is Illyria, and I think this not only shows how connected she is to the Void, but also to that potential Naru that is going on with the war within. Like, there's something is definitely gonna happen with that Dark Naru and the new crystal. Additionally, in one quote, she calls Elune an upstart goddess, meaning that she must once again know some crazy cosmological ancient history that we don't, back when Elune wasn't a goddess. Now, before we go crazy here, as we really can get into speculation for like an hour here, there are in my opinion two interesting theories currently going on. One that recently started happening due to the War Between announcement and those identified World Soul whispers we've seen in the cinematic, and that is that XALA'TATH may be an avatar of corrupted Azeroth. It does in a way make sense, but it also doesn't when you factor in some other things from this interview. However, it makes sense, like in their recent prophecies and lore talk about how the corruption was almost complete, the void-infused Azeroth was stopped last minute by the Titans. Also, XALA'TATH is a female, the World Soul seems to be a female, so it really could be possible that she is that void version of Azeroth.
She's the opposite of Azeroth,
maybe. Fully empowered soon when the process is complete. Now, the reason it doesn't make sense
the reason why I don't think she is the opposite of Azeroth is I think Azeroth is kind of a balance between the void and the light. I don't think she's a light being. I don't think she's a void being. I think she's like this intermediary, and that's why the Titans are so afraid of her. That's why they've imprisoned her. They don't want her to hatch yet. And until they can at least convert her maybe to their way of things. To be the opposite would mean that Azeroth is just a light being, and XALA'TATH is a void being, and I don't think that's right. I do think XALA'TATH is from the void, but I don't think Azeroth's from the light.
The timeline, as they say that she's older than the old gods, and as we know, the old gods arrived to Azeroth to start this corruption process, so this void version could only be created later, after they had almost finished the corruption. The only explanation I could see is that technically that is Azeroth, the World Soul, and she is older than most things in the universe. However, other than this little bit, this
she's corruption
lines up perfectly, as the World Soul was supposed to be turned into a weapon for the Void, so they can win this this massive cosmological war. She would serve the Void Lords, they would be her masters, she would have vested interest in defeating other cosmological forces like the Titans, and she would think of Eleven as a joke, as the world soul is older than anything else. So I gotta say, this could actually be a genius thing. However, we got another interesting thought, another direction that Blizzard has kinda drawn us in. This has gone a little bit under the radar as there was an isolated interview, but around the start of Dragonflight, maybe a little bit before 10.1, Blizzard officially made some groundbreaking changes to the Old Gods, or hinted at some really groundbreaking changes. The Chronicle told us that these Old Gods were mere weapons just flung across the universe to corrupt the world's souls everywhere, and they're essentially mindless servants of the Void. However, Blizzard said that we shouldn't really think of them that way. The Void as a force is inherently chaotic, and they not only battle each other all the time, but they constantly change their plans on the fly.
They're a seer of many truths, right? So they don't have one path that they believe they need to take. They could just up and change their plans all of a sudden, which is why I think N'Zoth changed his plans once he saw his death being imminent, and I think he figured out a way to avoid it. Avoid. Play on words.
Very strongly hinted that the Old Gods may have rebelled against the original mission, against the Void Lords, started doing their own thing, and
we were supposed to get a pirate expansion. Okay, leave me alone about that.
Might have been their way to empower themselves, not the Void Lords or the Void. So the Old Gods could have technically gone rogue. Now, if we take this into account, this in turn could make for a completely different identity for XALATATH. I mean, check this out. She could be a backup weapon, a mediator of sorts. I mean, think about like a punitive expedition sent to Azeroth. She was supposed to get the Old Gods back in line to finish the actual Void Lord mission and to get...
He's describing exactly what I've been saying this entire time. She is the one who prepares the planet to be voided. She is the harbinger. She's the one who prepares it. He's saying that she comes and gets everything in line and set up for the Void Lords to make their appearance.
Rid of their own selfish plans, but it didn't really go well, and she may have been defeated by them. Just think about it, completely lines up. This might be why she cheered when the Old Gods were defeated. Like, if she was Azeroth and was ultimately created by Old God corruption, why would she cheer at their defeat when they're technically her creators? As this backup weapon, she would be around equal or stronger than the Old Gods, under the Void Lords, and older than the Old Gods. Think like how the Titans had Sargeras to deal with the dirty work, the really difficult work. Well, the Void Lords could have had XALATATH like a Void Titan champion of sorts, so this could be like Sargeras' actual rival. I know, a little bit crazy, but what if XALATATH was a Void Titan, like what Azeroth is supposed to become, but from another world, a weaker one? I know, tinfoil hat time, but remember when that one world got entirely corrupted and infested by the Old Gods, and Sargeras came in and just split it in half? Well, what if XALATATH was born from that and already went away, while Sargeras just destroyed the husk, like the shell of that entire planet? I can't say it would be impossible. Also, the biggest problem we have right now is that we're basing like 90% of all our cosmological lore knowledge based on the Chronicle that Blizzard obviously has retconned, as obviously the Titans are lying. So really something totally different could be happening that no one could really guess without correct information. What if the Old Gods are not even created by the Void Lords? What if their goal wasn't even to corrupt Azeroth? And
look, everything we know about the cosmos and the Void and everything else was originally told to us by the Titans, and now we've been told throughout Dragonflight that everything the Titans have told us, or essentially everything, was a lie. So basically we know nothing. We know nothing about the Void, its true intentions, who XALATATH is, what the Old Gods wanted. We don't know shit. We don't know shit because the only people who knew anything hid the truth from us. So it's all been retconned. Yeah, it's all been Chronicle's point of view from the Titans, exactly.
Maybe to turn it into something entirely different. The entire line of thinking we have from the Chronicle about the Void Titan is from a Titan perspective, because that is what they want to do with Azeroth. So
what's her beef with Illyria?
Others want to do the exact same thing. What if the Void just wants to destroy Azeroth, much like Sargeras, or maybe something even crazier?
She's wielding the Void. I have no idea what she doesn't like about it.
I think this XALATATH story could turn out to be one of the best things they had ever done, if pulled right. Things are optimistic at the moment, with some changes to the structures as Blizzard, but as you may know, sometimes with the lore, it can be a little hard to get your hopes up. It definitely wouldn't be out of character for Blizzard to just forget they even wrote these whispers back in Legion to just contradict themselves and doing something entirely different. However, I think in War Within, we are in for some really crazy times. Thank you for watching, and check out the new humans coming in the War Within by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on ancient Greek colonies in Spain by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.
Yeah, great video. I still think my my thoughts on XALA'TATH hold water, and that she is like a preparer, the harbinger, the one who gets ready, who prepares the planet for the invasion of the Void. That's what Midnight is going to be all about. The Midnight expansion, I believe, like, we're going to see everything happening in her preparation for the Void to come and all that stuff, and that'll be the climactic ending of the Midnight expansion, is that the Void does in fact show up. And Chris Metzen described that expansion ending as a loss for us. So we'll see how we deal with that whole thing.